Class, and welcome to week 9. And I just want to say that it looks like, just almost as always, nobody is ever bored with discussing Andrew Jackson. And I think it's going to be fair to say that when it comes to the teaching history, no matter what anybody thinks about Trump, the Trump era will also not be a boring subject to be taught. So maybe the legacy of presidents should be judged, not so much on whether we think they're good or bad, but how well they keep our attention in class, right? Because ultimately they're helping us learn U.S. history, if at least they're interesting, right? And in any case, Andrew Jackson, Thomas Jefferson, and one could say, I think there are many presidents that have generated a lot of controversy, not just Jackson and not just Trump. And ultimately, what's interesting is that a lot of you could see how it seems that most of you, no matter what your politics are, saw good reasons why people would have liked Andrew Jackson for some, and why it would be fair that some would hate him thoroughly. And I think that this is a very important thing that I would just like you to always kind of think about. I feel like one doesn't have to necessarily be politically a relativist or wishy-washy, but it really helps to be able to understand why people gravitate towards certain types of personalities or movements or politics, and then also why they ignore certain aspects of their legacy, one way or the other. And I just think that that's a kind of interesting aspect of my job. I do think, again, for me, operating as a history instructor is a different mode that I get in than when I'm kind of in political activist mode. And I try to do, I've mentioned this many times, add a little different type of focus or reaction to information here than I would elsewhere. Why am I saying that again? Well, I just want to clarify is that we have to commit to certain things. If there's a law passed, if there's somebody promoting a law. Well, I'll just give you an example. I don't support the death penalty the way it is. I'm not 100% opposed to the concept of a death penalty for certain types of criminals. But because I don't like the way that it's handled here in the United States, and I think there's a lot of innocent people that get accused, and just so many aspects of the criminal justice system, I vote no on anything that deals with promoting the death penalty. But in theory, somebody who commits mass murder or hurts just a lot of human beings, I'm not necessarily against that idea, but when it comes to a decision that I have to make, in the middle of all my kind of different ways of looking at it, I have to commit to making a decision, and so I go no. Yeah, so I think a lot of people operate that way. For others, it's a deeper, more passionate reasoning and so on. So I think that a lot of you are seeing that, and you're learning a lot by being able to look at this broader picture and scope of history. And so, with the immigrant, the topics that I deal with this week for US History 101, I obviously only picked a few highlights of immigrant communities. Some of the videos are not as interesting as others. Basically, I could show many different types of documentaries on different ethnic groups that come to the United States. I picked a few to give us a taste to think about this topic more deeply, you know, thinking about the way that this nation was formed and the topic of multiculturalism now and all of that. So I hope that you enjoy this week's set of topics as much as last week's. In any case, I think you guys are really getting a lot out of the content, and I'm really happy with this class. So good job, you all, and be good to each other and to yourselves. Have a great week, and we'll be in touch.